Hand jive? Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Faux Pods with Lola. Welcome back. If you've been here before, it's good to see you. Podcast format where I just sit back and regale you with a interesting topic, and you sit back and enjoy listening. So this is actually my second attempt at this topic. Last week, did the whole spiel, edited, tried to export, and my file corrupted. Then did it again. Edited the whole video, tried to export, and the file corrupted. So that was frustrating. That's why there was no video. Instead of try to keep redoing it and get increasingly more frustrated, I decided just to scrap it, start fresh. So here I am. Needless to say, all I want for Christmas is decent editing software. Anyways, so this week we're talking about conspiracy theories. That's right. Ooh. What kicked it all off, I actively sought out the Netflix series Inside Job, an adult animated series, which just means they swear and adult subject matter, but we love those. Got all of the elements that I look for: intelligent, quick writing, super talented cast, and outside the box subject matter. Cast includes two main characters: Lizzie Kaplan, who you might know from Mean Girls or The Masters of Sex; Clark Duke, who was the voice of Thonk in The Croods. If you don't have kids, you probably haven't seen that movie, but I recommend it. It's good. And then we have Joe DiMaggio. What I know him from is Adventure Time. He's Jake Bender from Futurama. Then there is Christian Slater. There is Brett Gelman from Fleabag and Stranger Things. Bobby Lee from Mad TV and Stand Up. Super duper cast. So the series itself is centered around all of those. That whole cast of characters works at the shadow government, which, if you're a conspiracy theorist, it's one of the classics. So they kind of play fast and loose with all of long-standing conspiracy theories, right? I know when things are real and when things are fake. I know when it's real and when it's just a complete and utter bullshit. I've honed that skill over the years. I've always been a, well, what if kind of a person. When I was younger, my uncle kind of exposed me to the whole conspiracy theory thing. He was the only person in my family that really talked about stuff like that. He said that when you see Made in USA on a label, what they really mean is Made in USA Japan. The conspiracy is that they are sneaking in foreign trade things and making them look like they are made here in America. You know, this was back in the 80s, 90s, so that would have been a bigger deal. Nowadays, it's pretty commonplace, you know, because of historical events since, and foreign trade is commonplace now. I have to say, at that age, it made sense to me, even though I was like 10, that our kind of consumerist, capitalist society would sneak in there and make as much money as possible. Back then, most people only wanted made in America products. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's a bad thing, if it were true. Thinking about this video and kind of remembering my earliest memories about conspiracy theories, that begs the question, that whole formative experience begs the question, how did he know that? Where did he get that intel exactly? This was way before the days of Twitter, Reddit, live streaming, any internet, anything. Was he on like a mailing list? Was it like a pirate radio station that he heard that on? Honestly, started thinking about all of them, all of the conspiracies that we know nowadays. Like, how did those get around? So someone was hiking in the woods, looked up, saw a 12-foot Sasquatch. As he's running for his life back to his cabin, I should probably write a letter to someone and let them know. Shit. Hometown gets it gets spread around the hometown. Passing traveler, he hears it, and he goes back home and tells his. I mean, that's how it has to spread, right? Before the internet, before telephones. And some of these conspiracies go back to the beginning of the country. How would they keep going if there weren't evidence periodically to support it, to keep it going? Start a fresh new awareness or interest in diving into it and seeing if it's true, kind of a thing. And then I was thinking about how at some point, like conspiracy theories, myths, urban legends, and kind of paranormal all got lumped into the same category. I don't think it's accurate, but I think it's very interesting. Theorize about the Loch Ness Monster, that maybe he could be a dinosaur that somehow survived, and those are just his spring hunting grounds or whatever, whatever season that they see him in. That is very different than knowing about chemtrails, feeling that you've had personal experience with that, or seeing evidence or having an inkling or, tracing something or being skeptical. Why does that automatically make you crazy? Counterculture has existed right next to mainstream culture from the beginning of time. There's the middle group and they're all stoked on a certain thing, and then there's the outer group that's just kind of watching the inner group and kind of observing, collecting data, making tallies and charts metaphorically or like in their head. I am definitely part of the outer group, if you couldn't tell by my content. We have to look at the term conspiracy itself to understand its usage and like why that term is used for certain things and not other things, right? So a conspiracy is just a group that seeks to have a plot or a ploy to do something nefarious, illegal, for gain. Saying that something is a conspiracy theory, I think, is now a bigger blanket than it ought to be. In my early 20s, I stumbled upon a show called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. I think the channel itself, it's on YouTube. It's not quite the same content. Back then, they deep dove into hollow earth theory and how there's dinosaurs still roaming around in the Amazon to this day. Tesla, Nikola Tesla, not the electric car company, but the actual brilliant inventor. Con theory on that is that all of his amazing advances scientifically and technologically, he wouldn't sell the patents, or he wouldn't give the information over to people that wanted to make money. He felt that all of those things should be for the people. Then he was found in his apartment with nothing in it, dead. You can draw your own conclusion there. So from that series, so what if that is true? Not saying that I believe that it's 100% true, but what if it was? Where would I see evidence of that? Chemtrails is a good example. I've had experiences in my own life. I had noticed a marked change in my energy level. I felt drier, like I had dried out, like someone dried me out. Just felt a general confusion. I noticed it the most when I was living in my car, which would make sense because I don't have a place to go and kind of decompress and be in my own energy. I'm just out in the ether the whole time. Did it coincide with the little streak across the sky that people say is a jet stream but doesn't evaporate like a jet stream does? Indeed it did. Most times. Does that then mean that I am now afraid of everything in the sky? In no way. I'm just aware of it. The stuff they don't want you to know helped me start peeling back layers and noticing things. So it's good. I'm a critical thinker. I've mentioned that before. For me to kind of connect dots and draw conclusions about things just from evidence, just from things that I notice, from things in the media, from things, word of mouth, comments on YouTube. I mean, that's where the real tea is. Watch a video about something, but read the comments, because a lot of people from different parts of the country that actually have pertinent information, that's where you find it. I mean, yeah, it could be all lies, but could all be true too. There's been some really dangerous and disturbing results of certain beliefs that they then take action that is in a radical or extremist vein. Yes, that is definitely true. Without the extremist sector, however, we wouldn't even know that those people exist. We wouldn't know that there was a prevailing counterculture theory out there that some people hold to be true and other people hold to be utter bullshit. Our first exposure to any of those ideas is through an extremist viewpoint. Don't think that's a mistake. So all the attention that's given to those extremist groups is then made the example of, right? It's like, oh, well, you see, that whole idea is crazy. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. I don't think that that's true. I think that there are very pointed things that happen within the media to make sure that a person who is benefiting from something being a secret or being scoffed at and not believed. Do I have a laundry list of things that I have seen myself, have experienced myself, know to be true, that are scoffed at by most of the mainstream? You bet your ass. Are there also some things that are conspiracy theories that are complete and utter bullshit? Yes, indeed. The main difference for me, and I think this is the big differentiation for a lot of it, is fear. Any type of idea or theory or whatever, and you see a little bit of evidence and you fly off the handle and then get a suicide bunker and go to the nth, no matter what the outcome of that potential theory is, it's already won against you. It's not the healthiest way of handling any type of, not what you were used to, what you grew up knowing or thinking. if that hits your ear holes and makes you panic, you got to do some digging and you got to figure out why. Otherwise, no matter what the outcome is of that idea, it has already kicked your ass. You remember that game Telephone where you'd sit in a big group and it was like 20 people, it was like your whole class, and you'd sit in a circle and one person would start and they'd turn to the person next to them and they'd say, I like cupcakes. And then that person would whisper what they heard to the next person, then the next person would, so it goes all the way around the circle, and then the person on this side says out loud what they heard. And very rarely is that what that first person said. They said, I like cupcakes. It comes back after that whole circle, and it's, I like the sound a duck makes. Our society is a lot like that. One idea is uttered, one shred of evidence, one report, one deep dive information is purveyed, and yet through the filters that we all have, whether it's social media, mainstream media, word of mouth, whatever, it gets distorted into this like hybrid thing that is no longer irrefutable evidence. It's now a hodgepodge of facts, fiction, opinion, filler because they couldn't really remember, so they just kind of made something up. So now it can't be trusted. Just the rantings of an insane society. It's a little unstable. I think that happens a lot. And that definitely benefits the person who wants to discredit the messenger, gaslight anyone into thinking that what they believe to be true, what they feel, what they've seen evidence of is completely and utterly a lie. Oh, no, that didn't happen. No. 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 Here's $5,000. That didn't happen. And I think that happens a lot too. It's no wonder that most information that could be potentially helpful to us as humans is kind of chucked out the window as a crazy conspiracy theory. I hope someday I can just jump down a terrestrial tunnel that goes straight to the middle of the earth and I can hang out with dinosaurs. I hope that's true. I have always wanted to hang out with one. Vegisaurus, like they say in Jurassic Park. I would love to be walking down a secluded beach somewhere and stumble upon Tupac and or Biggie and have a smoke and a joke with them and get their take on what happened. Doesn't that idea sound more hopeful and more realistic than them just being snuffed out like they were? The last one, which, hear me out, even though the narrative has reached some kind of dark, unintelligible, muddled levels, it has divided the conspiracy theorist world pretty harshly, pretty severely. Even though all of that is true, wouldn't it be a relief to know that evil lizard people, hear me out, that the evil lizard people that are secretly controlling everything, that feed off our fear, that's why they keep us in a state of fear. Wouldn't it be a relief to know that horrible parasitic race that somehow infiltrated ours, that's the real reason why our country has been so genocidal and so controlling and so manipulative, misogynistic and so homophobic and so racist and unfair to anyone but a top tier of select humans? Wouldn't it be a relief to know that we weren't the ones that did that to ourselves? I mean, it's potentially another set of problems, but think it through. If that were true, if that's possible, we will have an opportunity at some point, at the rate things are going, we will have an opportunity to be all of those superhero people that we spend our money watching, we spend our time thinking about, and we grew up idolizing. We will get to be those very people at some point. Isn't that an exciting thought? I don't know how we're going to do it, any of the particulars, but just to think, just play the what if game with that. If there's an uprising against something nefarious that's been controlling us this whole time, whatever it is, whether it's lizard people or who knows, but that theory in itself started off rooted in some type of experience, some kind of truth, just like all the other ones, right? So who knows what the real experience was? What if, what if? Every day things get more and more sci-fi. A lot more sci, not so much fi anymore, if you know what I'm saying. No matter where you fall on the spectrum, whether you believe that, it's all bullshit, whether you believe some of them are true, whether you believe 100% everything that you have coming your way in the game of telephone, no matter where you are on that spectrum, it's all good, right? Any way you slice it, it's all good. If they are all true, some true, or not complete and utter bullshit, we'll be okay. right? We have maintained a level of humanity and a quality of life that has been completely unaffected by any type of conspiracy theory, right? Either way, but it is fun to theorize. It is fun to play the what if game. I think it trains you out of just one way of thinking, which there's a lot of reasons why thinking something through and connecting dots is a good thing, no matter what the subject matter is. I do know that where there is smoke, there is fire. Whether it's a little cozy campfire or a raging inferno is up to us and how we deal with it. That makes sense. If you believe in humanity, which I definitely do, if you believe in the goodness and the strength that we have, the resilience, then no matter what you hear and no matter what the outcome is of said thought or theory, we're going to be okay. 100% going to be okay. In the long run, like I said, it's, in my opinion, the best to have your own way of thinking about things. Have a cross-reference. Have a corkboard in your mind that you got some facts pinned to. That at any time, you look at that board, call those facts when you need to. It might be a life-saving thing. That's my spiel about conspiracy theories. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to me and indulging me in all my crazy, insane rantings. Or are they? Just remember, guys, like I said, we'll be okay. Just deep breaths. I know there's lots of energy still pouring onto the earth. There will be for a while. Deep breath. Deep breath. 5 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. It's like a little quick reset. Feel yourself start freaking out. Just let it go. Release the tension in your shoulders. Go stand out in a field of grass. Go stand in your front yard. Go hug a tree. Let all of that energy go. Let it go. Feel connected to the earth. We're okay. At any rate, we got this. I hope your holiday season is going terrifically and swimmingly. Yeah, I'll be back again soon with another one just for you. Like, subscribe, notificationer, and